Hey there, my name is Nate Bagley. I'm the host of the Growth Marriage Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can maintain the strength and connection and trust in your marriage. Stay tuned. I recently wrapped up a huge virtual summit for people who want to have amazing marriages. And I interviewed a therapist whose name is Jonathan Sherman. And Jonathan shared an idea with me that I haven't been able to get out of my head for the last couple of weeks since we talked. And the thing he said is nothing self-maintains. Grass doesn't cut itself. Toilets don't clean themselves. Your car doesn't put gas in its own tank. Nothing self-maintains. And that goes for your marriage as well. Just like if you want to have a healthy body, you need to eat healthy every day and you need to work out every day. Your marriage won't survive on yesterday's love. And I think it's really easy to become complacent and to get really comfortable in your marriage and forget that there are small things that you need to be doing on a regular basis if you want to maintain the connection and good communication and trust and closeness and intimacy in your marriage. So today I want to share 5 things that you can do to maintain your marriage. Now, this is not a comprehensive list. It's just a couple of ideas to get you started. And I guarantee if you do these things on a regular basis for the next 30 to 60 days, you will see a massive positive transformation in your relationship. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is I want you to have a weekly staff meeting. So staff meeting for a business is when all the employees get together or a team gets together and they talk about what's going well, what's going poorly, they set goals, they go over the logistics, maybe finances, new protocols and trainings. It's a great opportunity to kind of talk about the housekeeping that needs to occur in order for the business to run. And a staff meeting is great for any group of people that's working together, including a marriage, 2 people working together for the same cause. Maybe your family is the business. So the staff meeting works like this. You have an unbreakable meeting at least a couple times a month, preferably every week so that it can be regular. And in that meeting, you sit down and you talk about all of the logistics, all of the coordinating things, your schedules, the finances and paying the bills, any big things that you need to talk about coming up, maybe where you're going to spend the holidays or who's going to take care of buying gifts for little Timmy's birthday party or who's going to make sure that Sally gets to soccer practice or her piano lesson. And that is the meeting where you go over all of the logistics. It's also a great opportunity to talk about things that may not be going well in your relationship. Hey, I asked you for help last week. You didn't chip in. Or, hey, I miss you. We haven't spent much one-on-one time together. That marriage meeting on a regular basis is a great opportunity to air your grievances. And if you designate that time for airing your grievances, it makes it significantly easier to talk about the issues that you have in your marriage because you have time to prepare yourself for the fact that you're going to be talking about that kind of stuff. So a weekly marriage meeting, a state of the union, some people call it, a staff meeting is the number one suggestion that I have for you. The second suggestion I have is what I call chore play. So chore play in my relationship, what I do is I think about what are the tasks, the chores around the house that my wife hates doing the most? And then which of those things can I pick up and do for her without being asked? My wife hates emptying the dishwasher. If it was up to her, she would just never empty the dishwasher or fold the laundry is another thing she doesn't enjoy. And so anytime we have a load of laundry that's just come out of the dryer or we have a load of dishes that's just been done, I try and make a concerted effort to see an opportunity to love my wife by taking care of that chore for her. So a great thing that you could do this week is think, what are the jobs around the house that my partner hates doing the most? And how could I take that off of their plate without making a big fuss over it, without needing praise, without needing accolades? Just take care of it because you love your partner. It's a really great way to tell your partner on a regular basis, I love you, I care about you, and I'm here to make your life better. The third thing that I want to talk about, it's more of a physical affection thing. It's called the 6-second kiss. I think it's really easy if you've been married for a while you're still maybe romantic, you cuddle, you kiss, you have sex every so often, but the kisses kind of grow a little bit less passionate over time. And there's something really special about planting like a nice, long, passionate kiss on your partner. I think that the happiest couples over time are the ones who kiss the most. So I want to encourage you to think of a good way to do this would be to habit stack. So think of a habit that you do every day, something that occurs every single day. Maybe it's brushing your teeth. Maybe it's when one of you leaves for work for the day or when one of you comes home. But pick one of those transition moments or a habit that you already have in place and stack on top of it this 6-second kiss. So maybe every time you or your partner comes home from work after a long day, you just kind of sneak over into the corner and pin each other up against the wall and plant a big fat kiss. The physical affection in your relationship is something that typically you share with just your partner. That's one of the things that designates your relationship as something different than a coworker or a roommate. And so this is a really cool way to say, hey, we're still lovers. We are still, romantic partners. And it's a fun way to invest in that aspect of the relationship. Okay, the fourth thing that I want to encourage you to do is do a regular date night. Jonathan Sherman, who's the therapist who I interviewed, laid out 4 specific qualifications if you want to have a really amazing date night. The first is that it has to be an unbreakable appointment. The things that are most important to us are the things that we prioritize. We put them on the calendar and we show up. That happens with business meetings. It happens with lunch meetings with your friends to hang out or holiday parties. And it needs to happen with date night too. There has to be an unbreakable agreement in place that you're going to show up every single week to this appointment. The second thing is you're not allowed to talk about logistics. That is saved for the State of the Union. That's saved for the staff meeting. So if you are on your date, no talking about kids, no talking about logistics, no talking about bills, no talking about things that are going wrong in your relationship. You're only allowed to talk about things that will connect you. Now you might be thinking, what the heck do we talk about if we don't talk about all that other stuff? Well, there's plenty to talk about. One of the things that you can do is download the Gottman Card Decks app, which I'll link to a lot of resources if you want to learn more about each one of these specific points that I'm making in the show notes. And I'll also link to this specific app. But the Gottman Card Decks app is an app with hundreds and hundreds of questions that you can ask each other. They're open-ended questions about sex and travel and intimacy and dreams and your past and your hopes for the future. And they're a fantastic way to facilitate conversation that will help you get to know your partner's inner and outer world and not have to depend on complaining or gossiping or just talking about your kids. So that's the second part of a date night. No shop talk. The third thing is that the purpose of the date has to be to flirt, engage, connect, and woo each other. Super important. Dinner and a movie doesn't cut it. Good for you if you're doing dinner and a movie. That means you're spending time together, but it's really hard to woo and flirt with your partner unless you get a little promiscuous in a dark movie theater or in front of a Netflix screen. I want you to get out of the house and go do something adventurous, or even stay in the house, but do something out of the norm. Make a memory, flirt with each other, get yourself out of your comfort zone and do something exciting. That is the purpose of a date night, is to reconnect in that kind of flirty and fun way. And the last thing that is an important check mark to have in order for this to qualify as a date night is it needs to be just the two of you. It means you need to find a babysitter. If you've got kids, you can do kid swapping. You can hire a babysitter, have one of your parents come over and watch the kids. Doesn't matter, but you got to be just you and your partner. It's really hard to have a really great date night with really intimate conversations and flirtiness and playfulness if you got kids hanging around you. So please make sure that if you want to qualify for the date night, those 4 tips needs to be mandatory every week, no shop talk. You need to flirt and woo and play with each other, and it needs to be just the two of you present. Now, the fifth and final way to maintain your marriage going forward and make sure that it continues to grow and flourish, and this one's a little bit more internal. I want you to be thinking on a regular basis. Maybe every week you can journal about this, but think of the things that you're depending on your partner to give you that you should be giving yourself. A lot of the time in our relationships, we rely on our partners to validate us. We rely on them to tell us that we are important, that we're right, that we need them to comfort us or make us feel worthy, make us feel valued. And ultimately, until we can learn to give ourselves that validation and give ourselves that sense of meaning and purpose and kind of hold on to ourselves and know that we're okay as human beings, that we're doing our best without the reassurance and validation of our partner, we're always going to be dependent on them for that. And then we resent them when they don't give it to us, which is unfair. You don't get married to somebody so they can constantly validate and reaffirm you. And this is a trap that I think we all fall into from time to time. It feels really great to be validated. It feels really great to have your partner tell you how wonderful you are. And it's easy to become reliant on their praise and their gratitude and their appreciation and their validation. And I would just encourage you on a regular basis to stop and think, am I demanding or needing or hoping to get upset with my partner because I'm not getting something that I should be giving myself? maybe what you really need right now is some alone time or time to recharge your batteries, and you're waiting for your partner to give it to you. That's not okay. It's probably time for you to ask, hey, I need some time to myself, and to take it and to go recharge your own batteries instead of waiting for your partner to do it for you. If you're the type of person who has a hard time showing up in your relationship unless your partner is constantly acknowledging the efforts that you're putting into your relationship, man, that can get exhausting for both of you. Creates a really negative relationship with your partner. So maybe start validating yourself. Maybe stop seeking that praise and that approval all the time. And this is going to help you be a better teammate. It's going to help you be a better partner. And it's going to help you create a stronger sense of self, which in any relationship, it's going to make the relationship better. All right, guys, those are my 5 tips to help you maintain your marriage going forward. I know whenever we have these conversations, the takeaways are great, but what really counts is the implementation. And if you are one of those people who wants a little bit of help and support and encouragement on the implementation side, and you want to make 2021 the best year of your marriage ever, I want to invite you, if you're a wife, to join the Epic Wives Experiment. This is going to be the 5th time we've done this. We've had over 1,000 wives participate with extraordinary results. And what we're going to do is, over the course of a month, Laura Heck, who's a certified Gottman therapist, and I are going to walk you through this series of amazing experiments that you're going to conduct in your marriage. And the goal of these experiments is to help you create more connection, to help you inspire your partner to re-engage in the relationship, to help decrease your stress, your anxiety, your overwhelm, the resentment that might be building up in your heart, and to feel more at peace, more playful, more flirty, more at ease, and more supported and connected to your partner. If that sounds good to you, go to epicwivesexperiment.com. There's plenty of information there. You can see testimonials from past wives who participated. We're only going to do this twice this year. So in January and then sometime in the future. So I really, really don't want you to miss out. It's an amazing experience, life-changing, to be honest with you. And it'd be awesome to have you there. So if you're the type of person who wants help implementing the things that you learn about because you get these great insights, but you never actually take action on them, this is the way to get results. You take action, you show up, participate in the Epic Wives Experiment, and your life will never be the same. I can promise you that. All right. Hope you have an amazing week. I'll be back next week with another episode of the Growth Marriage Podcast. If you enjoyed this, I want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, I'm coming out with new things to help you improve and strengthen your marriage. And if that's important to you, you should definitely be subscribed. Have a good one.